Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Harry's Music Room. This is part two of my deep dive into one of my favorite bands, Chicago. So check out my other video. I'll put a link below. And that's for the first album. And today we're going to do their second release, which is actually called Chicago. It's commonly referred to as Chicago 2, but nowhere on it does it say 2. They changed their name from Chicago Transit Authority to Chicago. So this was their simple name for it. Name change, logo, what became the iconic logo. This was the first time that it had been used. Once again, we had a double album, which would be kind of their trademark for a little bit. And it included a poster, very nice poster. The original pressings had this, what they call the inner sleeve, kind of a news article with the 2i Columbia label. Now, let's see, I also have this album on a reel-to-reel. This made it really easy for me to do my listen as I made my notes, because all I had to do was put the reel on and let it go. That's kind of nice. So the original pressing sounds great. If you can, it's not an expensive record. I'm sure you can find this in most used record stores for, I don't know, $10, $15 maybe. But it's a great sounding album if you can get it on that 2i red label. But there's also a reissue, a 50th anniversary reissue. And this is a Steven Wilson remix. And it is excellent. Very, very good. If you're a fan of this album and you don't have this, I would recommend it. It's really, really nice. So, one of the things on this album that they did is they did suites of songs where they would have a particular title for the suite and then a group of songs. And the reason for that was that their manager, James William Guercio, who I'll get into this in a second, but he suggested breaking it up into bits and pieces, each with a separate title, because then there was more publishing, there was more royalties. What they didn't know, or if they did know, they didn't really think it over, was that Guercio was getting 50% of their royalties, and I believe the publishing. And that left 50% to be divided among 7 members of the band. They were not getting a good deal out of this, but we'll get into that later as we get along into the deep dive. This album was also released in a quad version. 9 of their first 10 albums were released as quad. This was a time period when Columbia was really pushing their quad system, so they released 9 of the first 10. I think the only one they didn't might have been Live at Carnegie Hall. Now, the other interesting thing is on the quad pressings, they are different mixes completely. For example, I've got a note here. On 25 or 6-4, there's a additional guitar bit that's not on any other pressing from Terry Kath. And on Wake Up Sunshine, it's a completely different vocal mix, vocal take, with a different line, different lyric in the last line of the song. So, one other note is that the producer of the album, who was James William Guercio, says that the album should be played in its entirety as a single piece. So that's where we're at. Now, in the last deep dive of Chicago Transit Authority, I mentioned that they got a little political on one of their songs. And they get a little political on this album as well, and I'll get into that as we go through the different tracks. So, starts out with Moving In. Moving In has the classic Chicago horn section that we've all come to know, with great vocals by Terry Kath and Peter Cetera providing background vocals. Just the harmonies are great. And then it goes into this funky, jazzy kind of a jam. It's the perfect opener for this album because it kind of sounds like it could have been on the first album. So it's a good segue from that album to this, and then it moves into a little different sound than the first album. Second song is The Road, pretty standard Chicago fare, just what you would expect. Then we have a song called Poem for the People. Very nice piano intro, beautiful arrangement, with a soaring guitar solo by Terry Kath, and with Danny just providing that great drum beat. He's such a great drummer. He doesn't get the credit or the acknowledgement that he deserves, I think. And then we have a song called In the Country, which is kind of a funky song, a little funky, a little bluesy. I like it. It's a Terry Kath song. And then one that most people know called Wake Up Sunshine. Just a feel-good song with a great bass line all through it. And then we get into our first of what they call the song cycle suites. And this one is called Ballet for a Girl in Buchanan. And it consists of the song Make Me Smile, which is pretty long. It's all drawn out on this album. But the single, they did an edit of it, and it was a top 40 hit. From Make Me Smile, it goes directly into a song called So Much to Say. And then it goes into Anxiety's Moment. And then West Virginia Fantasies. And this is all a segue from Piece to Piece to Piece, all written by Jimmy Pankow, who plays trombone. And then it goes into Color My World, written by Jimmy Pankow, great vocals by Terry Kath, and had great flute by Walter Perezader. I graduated high school in 1972, and Color My World was our theme song. And then we have a song called To Be Free. It has a great drum intro. Just the drums, they kill it. It's just killer. I love it. From there, it goes into a song called Now More Than Ever, another Jimmy Pankow with Terry singing. And then that goes into the very end of the song that started it all, which was Make Me Smile. Wake Up Sunshine, Make Me Smile. All that is all combined into one big long. Think B-side of Abbey Road. It's that kind of a thing. We've got next song is Fancy Colors, which starts out with what sounds like a wind chime, just kind of lazily blowing. You hear a little tinkle here and a little tinkle there, and then the drums come in, and it's a really great song. I love it. And then that goes directly into 25 or 6 to 4, which most people are familiar with great Terry Kath guitar. Da 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 da. Everybody knows that riff, but From there, we turn the record over. We have another, or in this case, my reel-to-reel tape. We have another suite, and this is all written by Terry Kath and a fellow by the name of, with the initial P, Mats. Not sure who that is, but they're all instrumentals until you get to the last song, and this the suite is called "It Better End Soon." We have Prelude, AM Morning, PM Morning, Memories of Love, It Better End Soon Suite. I'm sorry, that's the second suite of songs. The first one was that whole instrumental section, and now we're going to go into a completely different one. So out of these two songs, they're getting like 9, almost 10 songwriting credits and publishing credits. So It Better End Soon is where they start to get political, and they're talking about the things that are going on in the world, in the U.S., and how it better end soon, and we're killing everybody, we're killing one another, and we need to love one another, and this and that. They were so up for this particular song, they're so proud of it, that they put the entire lyrics right here on the album, It Better End Soon. It's very hard to read, but it's a very long song, very political. And then it ends with a movement, a 4-part movement that is simply individually titled first movement, second movement, and so on. And then it ends with a song called Where Do We Go From Here, which is basically a song of hope, I think. You have to listen to it. But I think it's a song of hope for the future. So there we have it. That's my deep dive into their second album. Highly recommend it. The first one, Chicago Transit Authority, and Chicago. 2 albums that should be in everybody's collection. So until next time, when we'll dive into Chicago 3, thank you for watching. It's much appreciated, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye.